gold medals to hang over the hollow spot in the center of her chest. It's okay to miss him, okay if it takes time to heal. Following through with a ceremony she might later regret would have been the real tragedy. Besides, she'd told herself after canceling one non-refundable thing after another, she'd already paid for this scenic romantic getaway for two, originally meant to be a happy surprise and gift to her fiancé. The trip became the straw that broke the metaphorical camel's back. But again, she hadn't traveled to the middle of forested nowhere to rehash that. A loud knock caused Imogen to jump and gather the sheets and comforter in an ineffectual shield against whoever stood on the other side of the cabin door. Relax. You're at a 5-star resort with a dozen other cabins nearby and a decent-sized staff milling about. More, she'd done her due diligence about safety and security measures herself. Still, better safe than sorry and ignored rather than pitied, she figured remaining mum about no longer having a +1 was the way to go. The rapping of knuckles came again, louder this time, along with a garbled mumble, something about a lesson. Imogen flung off the covers, snagged one of the 2 terry cloth robes hanging on a hook from the wall, and then padded over to the door to answer. Crisp morning air filtered in as she squinted at the dark figure. With the rising sun, the only thing she could make out was a tall, muscular profile of a man. The large backpack gave him extra breadth he definitely didn't need to eclipse her petite 5'3" frame. Dude even had a bow staff, and did that mean this stretch of wilderness was more dangerous than the website originally let on? What did one even battle with a bow staff besides a wizard? No, wait, that was a fishing pole. "Morning, ma'am," he said in a deep, drawling voice that caressed her skin and awakened the rest of her senses. "I'm here for your first fly fishing lesson." The guy tapped the Cove Lakeside Resort badge clipped to his chest without fully turning to face her, so while she noted the official logo, her sleep-weary eyes couldn't quite make out his name. "We'll be heading downriver in my truck to a calm, open bend that's perfect for beginners, so make sure you grab everything you'll need for the next few hours." At some point between the initial booking, where she'd excitedly clicked the add-on package as a special surprise for her betrothed, and the moment their engagement crumbled, she'd spaced on the one-on-one fly fishing instruction. Before her lagging brain could fully catch up, the guy gave a high-pitched whistle that was downright offensive any time of day, much less at such a revoltingly early hour. "Come on, girl. Time to go." A large gray and white dog rounded the corner of the cabin, wet paws suggesting it had been playing in the creek around back. Good thing, too, or else she'd have to murder the guy for whistling at her like she was a bitch who'd come running. As he returned his attention to her, the shade provided by the bill of his faded baseball cap granted Imogen her first full look. And my, oh my, what a sight to behold. Amber-hued eyes glittered in the first rays of the day, the light creases at the corners placing him around early 30s range, and his dark lashes, eyebrows, and scruff-covered jaw framed his face ever so nicely. Or perhaps that was just due to his face. Whoever carved it must have taken their time creating such a rugged, chiseled masterpiece. As a bit of a recreational sculptor herself, she wasn't usually one to criticize another's art. Had they taken the time to whittle a smile instead of a frown, however, it would have upped his attractiveness to impossible levels. Perhaps that was the point. No one should be that good-looking. It simply wouldn't be fair. Not to the average person, and certainly not to her in her vulnerable emotional state. The idea of delivering a line she'd heard countless times from men enticed her more than it should, but since nothing was worse than being told, "You'd look prettier if you smiled," she refrained.